Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today in this session we will see pollination, its types and what are the conditions for pollination, etc. Pollination we have also gone through in the previous class. The definition says that it is the transfer of pollen grain from one anther to its compatible stigma of same species of flower is called pollination. Let me explain. If this is a stamen with anther producing pollen grains, this is another style or pistil, ovary and stigma. The pollen grains falls on this and further fertilization takes place in the ovary inside. This process of transfer is called pollination. Clear है ना? अभी next we know that pollen grains are non-motile so as ovary because they sit in one place. They are found in anther, they are found in ovary or ovules. So we require agents to transfer these pollen grains from anther to stigma. So we need external agents. They are wind, water, insects, birds, etc. And growth of gametes we will see in the further session. In pollination there are two types, self-pollination and cross-pollination. Self-pollination, word itself explains, they pollinate themselves. The flower having both male and female gametophytes on them and anther falls on its own stigma and pollination occurs. This is called as autogamy. And since the flower itself performs the pollination process, the genetically same flower, it's understood, it is genetically same flower. But in cross pollination or allogamy, the pollen fall on different flower where genetically different flower but same plant may be similar. So on this basis both the sexes may be present on same flower, both the sexes can be present on same plant or not. On this basis there are two types, geitonogamy and xenogamy. Geitonogamy having monoecious plant where one plant is having either pistillate flower or staminate flower. Pistillate flower we know it is female flower and staminate is male flower where the pollen grain formed here in the male flower falls on the female flower of same plant. So since ecologically this is cross pollination because pollen grain falling from one flower to another flower, so ecologically it is cross pollination, but genetically it is self pollination because it is present on the same plant, genetically same, but ecologically it is cross pollination. So offsprings are same as the parent. I hope it's clear. But in xenogamy there are dioecious plant where male flower is on one plant and female flower is on another plant. Okay, the male flower which is producing anthers fall on the stigma of female flower which is present on another plant. So in this ecologically and both genetically is cross pollination because two plants are involved, two flowers are involved, hence there is transfer from one plant to another plant. So ecologically and genetically both it is cross pollination. I hope it's clear. In this condition we need agents for pollination. Agents are required such as wind, water, insects, birds, etc. So we'll see agents of pollination in the coming session. Next we should know what are the conditions that will support self pollination, because these are the conditions or conditions which are required for the plant to promote self pollination. First is sexuality. Both the sexes are on same flower, then it will promote self-pollination, because we have already seen if this flower is having both male and female, then it is sure that it will transfer on its own stigma. The anther has transferred from its anther to stigma and self-pollination is promoted. I hope it's clear. Sexuality, but there is no guarantee. The guarantee is not given, but it may happen. It is one of the aid or one of the condition. If both sexes are present on the same flower, it promotes self-pollination. Then next is homogamy. What is homogamy? It is explained. Homo means same, gamy means gametes. Where if a plant is having both the sexes, that is anther or male gamete and stigma, that is female gamete part, where there is synchronization in maturation. If this plant is having stamen which will grow in 1 month, this pistil or female should also grow and mature in the same month. If the time difference is there, then self-pollination cannot happen. So there should be synchronization in maturation of male and female gametes. Along with bisexuality, both the sexes should be there in the flower, and there should be synchronization in maturation of these gametes. That will promote self-pollination. I hope it's clear. Next is bud pollination. The word itself says bud. It is present in bud condition. For example, groundnut and pea plant. Pollination occurs inside the flower before flower opens, because it's in bud condition. The both sexes are present inside. Both the sexes are present, male and female gamete present inside the flower. In bud condition only the pollination takes place. Okay. Next is cleistogamy. Cleistogamy, both bisexual flowers are there, but flowers which never opens. This is a important and very exceptional case present in bisexual flowers, that is cleistogamy flowers, where flowers which will never open in their lifetime. So as 100% only self-pollination is possible in these type of flowers. Example, Oxalis oila, that is called as common pansy. Opposite to this cleistogamy, there are chasmogamous flowers, where flowers are always open. These almost majority of angiosperms are chasmogamous flowers, but some of them are having cleistogamous flowers. I hope it's clear. Next, we will see what are the contrivances of cross pollination. What are the conditions which should be there in the plant to promote cross pollination. Next, first is sexuality. In that is dicleny, where both the sexes are not found in the same flower. In self pollination, it should be present in same flower. Here no sexes are present in one flower. Both are different flower or different plant. We have already gone through in monoecious and dioecious plants, geitonogamy and xenogamy. I have already explained. Next is dichogamy, where both male and female mature in different timings. In self-pollination, there should be synchronization. In this cross-pollination, the condition is dichogamy, where synchronization is not there. First is protandry and second is protogeny. Protandry, where androecium mature first, but gynoecium is not ready. If one flower is there, here androecium is matured, A is okay, but G is not okay. A will transfer to another flower where G is okay. So in this way cross pollination occurs, self pollination doesn't occur. In the same way, protogeny, where gynoecium is maturing first but androecium is not ready. Opposite to that, protandry and protogyny. I hope it's clear. Where androecium mature, it is protandry, gynoecium mature, it is protogyny. Next is hercogamy. Hercogamy, there is a physical barrier between the male and female organs within the same flower. If the sexes are present in the same flower, both stamen and pistil are present on the same flower, but there is a physical barrier between them. Example, calotropis, where pollen grains are borne on the sac-like structure called polonium. This is polonium. Pollen grains are present inside. The structure is called polonium, and stigma is present here down. There is a barrier between them. So because of the barrier, the pollen grains doesn't fall on this stigma, but due to other agents like wind goes to another flower and falls on that stigma. And pollination occurs. So for example, calotropis, where pollen grains are borne on sac-like structure called polonium, and pollen grains falls on the another stigma to promote cross pollination. I hope it's clear for everyone. समझ में आया ना? अगर कुछ डाउट है तो you can drop in the comment section. Okay. Next is self incompatibility. Self incompatibility, where stigma from the same flower rejects the pollen grain of itself or same plant. If this is a flower and this is another flower, if this flower gives the pollen grain to this flower, the stigma of this flower rejects the pollen grain and make it not working. Okay, but for self incompatibility, there is morphological style that is evolved in the plants, whereas from the diagram you can understand, whereas difference in the length of style of the filament is seen. Different in the length of style of the filament, where in the first diagram, in the A diagram, we'll see this is thalamus. This is thalamus. The pistil is longer in size, but the stamens are shorter. So even if pollen grains falls, they doesn't fall on this stigma, but they fall on other stigma. I hope it's clear. The height is same for these, so this fall on this stigma. But in the B diagram, the thalamus, which is having pistil and stamens, here the length of stamen is more but the pistil is less. So in this way, that morphological difference in the length of filament and style is seen. That condition is called heterostyly. I hope it's clear. Heterostyly is a morphological evolution of plants or flowers to promote cross pollination. I hope it's clear. Next is genetical self incompatibility. Genetically, there is self incompatibility seen in the plants, where say a gene which is representing S in the pollen grains, which represents 6 different alleles of S gene, that is S1, S2, S3, S4, S5 and S6 respectively. A pollen grain which is ready for pollination is having S1 allele of S gene. I hope it's clear. We know what is gene and allele. Okay, gene is S, but the allele is having S1 in this pollen grain, which is haploid in condition, but the stigma, which is 2n in condition, having S1 and S2 both. It is 2n in condition, it is having 2 alleles. So once the pollen grain falls on this, the stigma will never get the S1 allele on that, since they have same genetic makeup, so it will reject the pollen grain. So in this way, genetically they make themselves incompatible for the pollen grain. I hope it's clear. If this falls on another stigma, which is having S4 and S5, then the pollination occurs. Further fertilization takes place. But this is having S1, so it rejects the pollen grain. So I hope it's clear. Next, for pollination, we have seen in the starting of this session where agents are required. The agents of pollination are of two types: biotic agents and abiotic agents. Biotic agents, all the living organisms like insects, birds, snakes, etc. In abiotic factor, that first is water, where water is involved in pollination, that is called hydrophily, and wind is involved in pollination, that is called anemophily. Okay, we have seen this in the previous video of mine in the highlights of pollination. Okay, next we will see in wind pollination, it is the most common agent for pollination. It is most common in pollinating the flowers, and it is called as hydrophily. We know that. First we will see what are the characteristic feature that through wind the pollination is occurring. The characteristics of the flowers or plants, that pollen grain are non-sticky and lighter in weight, so that they move along with the wind when blows. If it is lighter, it will move easily. If it is heavier, it doesn't move from the anther. So it should be non-sticky also. If they are sticky, they doesn't move. They doesn't move. They stick to the anther only. So they are non-sticky and lighter in weight. Next is stamen or filament are long and exposed to wind. If they are long, they are easily swiped by the wind and move. Okay. If they are short, they doesn't move easily. If they are long, they move easily to the wind, so that they transfer from anther to stigma. Next is stigma should also be long and sticky and feathery. Stigma should also be long so that it can catch the anthers which come from wind, and it should be sticky so that it can attach the anther easily, and feathery. If it is feathery, it will catch easily. Okay. Next is non-nectar and non-colored flowers, small in size, because through wind doesn't need any return from the flower, because wind is already present. It doesn't require any gift from the flower. Anyway, wind will be coming through sweeping of wind. Pollen grains will go with the flow of the wind and fall on other stigma. So nectar is not present, and non-colored flowers, wind doesn't require any colored flowers to come to them. Okay, and they are small in size. Even they are small in size, even they are large in size, wind will do its work. So thus plants are conserving energy by using wind as pollinating agent. They conserve energy, because if wind is not the pollinating agent, if for say living organisms like insects and birds are the pollinating agent, they should have colored flowers to attract them. They should give nectar in return for pollinating them. So in wind pollination, nectar is not there, colored flowers is not there. Plants are conserving the energy. So plants majoritarily opt for wind as pollinating agent. And for wind pollinating agent, ovary has only one ovule. One ovule is present in the ovary. For example, wheat, rice, maize, sugarcane, only one ovule is present inside the pistil. Next is water pollination. Water pollination is the least method that is preferred for pollination, preferred medium for pollination. It is restricted to only 30 genera of monocot plants. Only 30 genera of plants is having water as pollinating agent, that is involved in monocot plants. Even aquatic plants like water lily and lotus prefer insect or wind pollination, because they can conserve energy. It is easily done. Okay, so they opt for wind for pollinating agent. Next, there are two types in water pollination, that is epihydrophily and hypohydrophily. Epihydrophily means above the water, hypohydrophily is under the water. Example, in epihydrophily, Vallisneria or tape grass. In hypohydrophily, Zostera or seagrass. Okay, it is above the water. If water is present here, it is above the water, but here in hypohydrophily, it is below the water. Now we will see what are the characteristic feature of water pollinated plants. The pollen grains which are surrounded by mucilaginous coat, as a result they do not get wet. Okay, as the water is present as a medium for pollination, they should not get wet, and it can spoil easily if it get wet. So there is a mucilaginous cover that is surrounding the pollen grain to prevent from getting wet. Okay, in epihydrophily, pollen grains are lighter so that it can float on the water. In epihydrophily, it is taking place above the water, no? So it very light so that it can float on the water. In hypohydrophily, they are ribbon like so that it can move easily under the water. If it is heavy, it will sink. So it is ribbon like so that it can move to the flow of the water and find the other stigma. Okay, I hope it's clear. In epihydrophily, the female that floats on the water, in epihydrophily, the female flower will float on the water, and male which comes through the currents of water and fall on the female to promote fertilization. But in hypohydrophily, they are low in water and male is ribbon like and move to the water currents and fall on stigma. I hope it's clear. Now, what are the water and wind are the abiotic factors? What is biotic factor for the biotic agents for the pollination? When pollination is performed with the help of living organisms, there are 6 types as mentioned. Entomophily by insects, ornithophily that is by birds, Myrmecophily that is by Myrmecophily by ants, Ophiophily by snakes, Malacophily by snails and slugs, Chiropterophily by bats. Okay, just go through the names. It is very easy to understand and easy to remember also. What are the modifications for plants which are pollinated by biotic agents? Easily we can guess that flowers are brightly colored so that they should attract the insects to them. They are large and showy. They are very showy and large, and they are scented. So the pleasant scent will attract the birds and insects to them, towards them. So flowers are scented. Pollen grains are very sticky and produced in very large number. Because why they are sticky? If insects come to the flower, it should be sticky and attached to their insect body. So it should be, PG should be, that is pollen grain should be sticky. Okay, and produced in large number, because they have to transfer from one flower to another flower. Because if they are present in large number, then easily they can be, even if they are lost in the transfer process, but the fertilization may occur. Okay, in biotic agents, reward from the plant is given in the form of food and nectar. The pollen grain is eaten by insects as food, so they should be produced in large number. The insects which come to the flower, it will eat the pollen grain as food, and some of the pollen grain will stick to their body, and during transfer to another flower, some of them may fall to the ground. Only few will come to the female flower, no? So large number should be produced. Okay, the biotic agents, that is insects or birds which are pollinating the flower, will get nectar and pollen as food, and it is safe place to lay eggs. Some of the insects will lay eggs in the flower, and they are very safe place to lay eggs for insects. For example, there is a mutual association of fig and fig wasp. Okay, we know that fig is a inflorescence that is called hypanthodium. The inflorescence which is called in fig is called hypanthodium. That is, just go through the diagram. This is called hypanthodium. Let me just change the frame. This is called hypanthodium, where the opening is called ostiole. The male flowers are present upper in the position, and female flowers are lower, and in middle they are gall flowers or neutral flowers. Okay, when the insects will enter, they will lay eggs inside, lay eggs here, and male flowers will produce anther and stick to the body of the insect, and this insect will go to another hypanthodium, where male flowers are here, they lay eggs here also, but female flowers here. To lay eggs, it will enter here. In the process of laying egg, they will leave the pollen grains to female flowers, and pollination occurs. Okay, I hope it's clear. In the same way it continues. Okay, this is the mutual relationship that is between fig and fig wasp. I hope it's clear. Another one is yucca moth. Yucca is a plant where it is pollinated by moth called Pronuba moth. Pronuba moth will pollinate the plant, and Pronuba moth will get place to lay eggs. Okay, in the same way in NCERT it is given Amorphophilus flower, which is very larger flower in the world, which is 6 feet in height, is having more space for insect to lay eggs. Okay, I hope it's clear. Next is deceit pollination. What is deceit pollination? Plants gets the benefit of pollination, but moth does not. Okay, deceit means cheating. Ophrys is pollinated by a moth called Colpa. This is Ophrys, which is an orchid. One of the petal of Ophrys resembles the female Colpa, which attracts the male Colpa to come to it. Pseudo-copulation occurs, and thus flower will get pollinated, but copulation doesn't occur. So in this way there is false pollination. False copulation occurs in the insect, but pollination occurs for the plant. I hope it's clear for everyone. Let me explain once again. Here the plant will get benefited by the pollination, but moth doesn't get anything. Here one of the petal of Ophrys orchid, that is Ophrys plant, the flower resembles the female Colpa, and male will be attracted by that female Colpa that is resembling on the flower, and they will be having the process of pollination, but male Colpa will get nothing. So in this way there is a deceit pollination occurs. This is also example for co-evolution. How? If male Colpa and female Colpa which is present, if there is a evolution in the structure of female Colpa, the flower of orchid also should evolve, so that there should be pollination continues. So if female Colpa is evolving, this flower should also evolve. Hence it is co-evolution. I hope it's clear. Next is pollen robbery. What is pollen robbery? It's clear. Where insect will steal the nectar from the flower without pollinating. They will steal the nectar from the flower. They will come and fall on the flower, they steal the nectar. Nectar is steal, but pollination doesn't occur. Example, Bombay's aphanus in the plant called Equilegia. Okay. I hope it's clear. Pollen robbery. And even in living organisms, that is biotic agents, bees, hummingbirds, ants, moths, flies, etc., all will help in pollinating the flower. And even in larger animals such as some primates, lemurs, arboreal rodents, reptiles, garden lizards, etc., all will play as an agent to pollinate flowers. I hope it's clear for everyone. Any doubts you can ask in the comment section. For notes, just DM me to my WhatsApp number. You will be provided with the notes. Okay. That next session we will see double fertilization, pollen pistil interaction, etc. Okay. I hope it's clear for everyone. Any doubts, ask in the comment section. Next is outbreeding devices. Here, majority of plants is having hermaphrodite plants. What is hermaphrodite? Both male and female are present in the same flower. That is called hermaphrodite condition. The pollen grains which fall on the stigma of the same flower. Okay, this is called as self-pollination. We have already learnt self-pollination. But this continued process of self-pollination over and over again results in inbreeding depression. That to avoid inbreeding depression, plants have developed certain devices to encourage cross-pollination and discourage self-pollination. They are, first is dioecious plant. We have already seen. Here both autogamy and geitonogamy is prevented, where a plant of two plants is having either one is having male gamete and another is having female flower, we can say actually. Flower and female flower. Both is having two different sex of flower, where this pollen grain will fall on the another plant and forms zygote that promotes cross fertilization. I hope it's clear. Here only xenogamy plays a very important role. Next is dichogamy, where both the sexes will mature at a different time. We have already seen this. Heterostyle, the morphological modification of plant that is seen here, where the length of style and filament is larger and shorter. We have already seen in the session. Next is self-incompatibility, where stigma of a flower rejects the stigma of the flower rejects its pollen grain for pollination. In the same way, we have seen genetic self-incompatibility, where this is represented by capital S, which is having 6 alleles. Okay, the pollen grain which is having common allele of the stigma is rejected, but it is accepted with a different allele and pollination occurs. We have already gone through all the devices which I have explained here in the session. I hope it's clear for everyone. Any questions, ask in the comment section. If any doubt, just drop a question in the comment section. For notes, please contact me. I have given in description, and the previous part 2 for the syllabus is given in description also. Okay, thank you all.